All right, as we recognize the Regional Medical Center all-heart player, Coach, you talk about all-heart. This guy to have some heart in his first real game.
Well, I guarantee you, we had no idea how he would react to this particular situation. And Nick Belcher came on and had a fantastic game. Field goals and punting, he did a nice job for us.
You start talking about punting too, Coach. This one in a pressure situation on Thursday night and came through like a champion.
He really did. Nick was out most of the preseason with a calf strain, and the reason he's the all-heart player because he was hurt most of the preseason, but he did come back and have a really good game for us.
All right, let's get to Saturday's second half highlights. So Thursday's second half highlights. Got to use this was a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
South Carolina State kicking off. Al Wilson bringing it back for Georgia State. Gives them some pretty decent field position. I'll tell you what, Coach, Bill Curry must have said something in the locker room because they came out and played their best football.
They did, but there were a couple instances where we didn't quite get lined up in time and couldn't tackle. I saw where Camario right here missed him at the line of scrimmage and came back again and made the tackle at the very end. So, if you don't get him the first time, they get him the second, but they get him too much yardage here. And it's one of those kind of situations where you don't know if we're going to get him stopped or not.
Kelton Hill, the quarterback, coming in relief of Ben McClain. That was Simmons on the carry for Georgia State. That was McClendon on the carry, or Russell on the carry. McClendon's the defensive back. But in South Carolina State, again, coming up with some big plays here, Coach, down the stretch. We get them slowed down once they got in the red zone.
Right. We get them rushed around here, and you see old Justin Hughes here. He really can run, and he gets them down, and then we stop them here, and they get a field goal out of the deal. But it's a lot better with a field goal as opposed to a touchdown.
Still a football game here in the second half now as Georgia State comes back on the opening drive. They spent almost 5 minutes taking down. It's 14-6. As you say, it's a one-score lead, but the offense comes back, and the offensive line reestablishes control.
We do. We come right out and have a real good drive here to start the second half. And we hit a kind of a deep ball, hit an elbow across the middle on what we call a little Furman route. And we end up getting the ball down in their positive territory right here at the very beginning. And then we come back off the back of that, and Richard Reed's off the backside of the zone and, pops it out here to the flat to Caleb Davis. He makes a nice run there. And we get another little play here. We got a little reverse here, and we're starting to get the ball. We're trying to find ways to give it to Elmore in all kinds of different positions, and he just kind of makes something happen here. Nice
he
little run
seems
here.
to cause him so many problems, Coach. You can see almost a fear when he gets the football with the speed that he has. And, of course, Richard Cute once again dialing up Tyler McDonald, and another great catch.
Tyler's getting a nice little touch there from being able to fight for the ball at the back shoulder. And we end up having to go for a little bit longer PAT because we get a holding call on the first one, but Nick stands in there and just bangs it right through.
That's a non-play, 73-yard drive that answers Georgia State's drive. 4 minutes, 18 seconds. That makes it 21-6 South Carolina State. Georgia State comes back, gets some good field position on the return. Kelton Hill, the quarterback, but boy, the defense.
Yeah, that's another sack there. That's Justin Hughes and Joe Thomas they're getting in there on him.
And, of course, the Bulldogs will take over the football once again, and now really starting to look for I call it the nails in the coffin as Richard Q comes back now and moves his football team right back down the field on the next possession.
Right. He hits Caleb Davis out there on the little option route, and we get the football back on a conversion down situation, and he comes back here and hits him on the deep crossing route, on what we call the void route. And, we're really moving the football nicely here. Richard comes back again, and we run another little quarterback draw. It's a third and long situation, and he converts it. We get down to the 10-yard line. One of the toughest places to get a touchdown from because you got 10 whole yards in the goal line. But now it gives us the ability right here to run out the clock for the fourth quarter, and we then go for a field goal right here in the middle at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
11 plays, 76-yard drive. It took 5 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. That makes it 24-6 South Carolina State. That got some of the home faithful headed to the gates with 14 minutes and 17 seconds to go. But still, from your standpoint, Coach, you got to still continue to coach because, a touchdown puts them back in the ballgame.
Well, I guarantee you. You get these situations here where, they're trying to block a punt, which would give them a quick score. And, our guys do a nice job of continuing to, make sure that they do a nice job protecting. And you see Caleb Davis, we hit him on what we call a little choke route.
I have to mention Caleb Davis, 10 catches, yes, Coach, on the night. Almost getting to the record held by Linnell Elmore of 12 catches, but 10 catches on the night going into the fourth quarter.
And here's Linnell on another reverse. It's kind of the same little play we ran earlier. And if you got a good reverse that you don't really have to do a lot to make happen, you can run it more than one time in a game. And if you catch a team kind of sneak in there and kind of go too far, you can. But now you see us kick another field goal here, which gives us another 3 points.
And, folks, to give you the perspective, This was a three-point field goal, but it was 17 plays, 70 yards, and that took 7.5 minutes off the clock, and that really just took the win out of Georgia State.
Right, and there's another sack here. That's Kamario on the little twist on, and you see a whole group of guys there. You see Justin Hughes and that crowd getting in that sack also. You see our band playing there. Those guys are having a good time here. They kind of think the game is over, I guess.
And how can you not have a good time? Kelton Hill, and look at this play by South Carolina State. Andrew Carter coming from the backside.
Carter runs him down, and you see our whole defense really excited here about making plays here at the very end, and we got to get him stopped here. We're going to get him knocked down here. They're trying to get down close to our goal line, but our guys are just trying to keep him contained here at this point.
And one of the things, Coach, you noticed at this point, even though you had some subs on defense, a lot of starters still in there, the defense was not going to not relent and let this team get in the end zone.
And this is a situation here where
Dominic
Mitchell picks this fumble up and returns it all the way for a score. These guys do a nice job of not blocking the back and not blocking below the waist and that kind of stuff. So we end up getting a score there to make it 33-6.
68-yard fumble return for Dominic Mitchell makes it 33-6 South Carolina State. Georgia State now all over but the shouting as they still try to move the football down the field, and the defense just making plays all over the place.
Yeah, we get another interception there right at the very end.
And, of course, when you start looking at this game for South Carolina State, what a great way to open the season up for the Bulldogs. I think that was Shaquan Brock.
That is Shaquan. That's a freshman from down in Camden County, Georgia.
On the interception return, Bulldogs win at 33-6, and we look quickly at the tail of the tape. First down department is 25-12. I don't know if we'll see it here, but Georgia State, Coach, on the night, 2 of 13 in third down conversions. That had to be the difference in the ballgame.
That was a big difference, and we controlled the football for most of the game. I think we had 7-8 snaps to their 58, and we had 488 yards, which is, a good sign of the fact that you've done pretty good offensively.
The State Farm drive of the game, we go back to our very first possession. It was a 3-play drive. A couple of running plays, it was a legal procedure, and then the big one, Richard Q to Lionel Elmore, and it just tells you about the speed of Elmore as he just goes right past this Georgia State defense.
And what it does is it allows us to play ahead for most of the game that way. And, we get this big play and we score. They kick off to us. What they really want to do is stop us and get us to punt to them and then get them some momentum. But we actually turn the tides on them by scoring a touchdown right there at the very beginning.
All right, we got to take a break on the Buddy P Show. When we come back, we'll tell you what is up next for your South Carolina State Bulldogs.